Ayya, could you speak to how our craving for creating / becoming relates to the suffering we experience when we experience impermanence, change, or loss? It's really poignant, isn't it? Because we have this very strong inclination to becoming, to push into the future, a very powerful wish to be here, to manifest, to become the next thing. This bhavatanha is a source, one of the kinds of craving that we experience. There are three main kinds of craving: craving to become, the craving to not exist. Also, with Bhavatanha, the craving to get away from, to cease, to get rid of, and also Kamatanha, the craving for sense desires. And this quality of Bhavatanha, it's powerful and potent for us. It's why we're here. We wouldn't be born without this incredible drive that brought us into this life and kind of propels us forward. And we can notice it in our meditation practice, can't we? When we say, have thoughts of the future, when we make plans and get kind of really upset when they don't come to fruition, or when we're obsessing about the way things may go one way or another. We can also feel it in the body, I would say. It's an energy. It's like a fire that's burning within. And so we have the opportunity to contemplate and to really consider this kind of energy. If we allow ourselves to follow in any way this craving to be, to become, when we are faced with the inevitable unpredictability of life and the constant change in life, it's like two tectonic plates bashing up against each other. It's like these two things don't go together. My sense of needing permanence and needing a future, needing to exist at all, and the reality of impermanence, they can't coexist. One has to give way to the other. And in an ordinary life, ordinary way of life, people who are not interested in spiritual practice, who are not seeking freedom from suffering, will tend to identify with the desire to be this powerful momentum and resist change, resist it in all sorts of different ways, and suffer terribly the consequences. And so, we resist reality as much as we can, but then there'll come a point where somebody we love dies, say, and boom, the tectonic plates hit, and we're just traumatized by the wrongness, the sense of wrongness, the sense of impossibility. This shouldn't be happening, couldn't be happening. Why is this happening to me? And so forth. This is huge suffering for us. But if we take on these teachings of the Buddha, bring in the understanding, at least consider the possibility of the impermanence of all things, all experiences, everything in samsara, moving, shifting, and changing. If we take this as a contemplation and we bring it into our practice and notice the truth of this teaching, then we can begin to align ourselves with the truth, and this other aspect, this other way of being begins to unfold for us. And then when people die, when we lose loved ones, when our own life comes to an end, we're ready. We're not fighting. We're not making a problem out of what's natural and inevitable. We are able to accept. And not only that, but we can often become a great source of solace and strength for others, because we're not caught up in fighting reality. We're not arguing with reality. We're flowing with change. And so we can rest in that truth. There's a stillness and a well-being here that's not been really ruffled terribly by the experience. There may be grief, there may be a longing and missing, but we can experience all those things as dharmas that are constantly arising and passing. We don't have to suffer, even as the body goes through grieving and there's a sense of loss in the mind. There doesn't have to be suffering around that. These things are natural, inevitable, normal. So we have a spaciousness of heart. We may have a sense of well-being. We probably will, even within difficult experiences of loss that are unfolding. And so we can often offer a lot of comfort and help and support to those who may be really caught up in the sense of trauma, in the sense of wrongness, because they haven't perceived, they haven't allowed for the inevitability of change. They haven't understood that, of course, all things come to an end sooner or later. And in fact, as we continue to practice and develop our awareness of anicca, we can recognize that change is happening in every moment. There's no two moments that are strung together. In reality, there's nothing that lasts beyond this experience. Everything is arising and passing with a tremendous rapidity. And we don't have to take that on faith. We can consider this and we can practice and notice how true it is that all our experience in meditation, as we develop mindfulness, we can see that, that's how it is. Nothing lasts, even for a moment. Experiences are coming and going rapidly. It's like all the stills of a movie. You string them all together and you've got a movie, but we can start to break down the movie, get behind the projector, look at the film and see how it's one still after another. That's the reality of our experience. Constant change, moment to moment. Absolutely nothing lasts and all is lost from this moment to the next. And when we start to recognize this reality, we can really be very free and very quick, to come back to the sense of presence, even within grief and loss and difficult things happening. Within that, there's a clear understanding that there's nothing here that can really shake or ruffle this heart. We're in the flow. We're simply flowing with reality. And how can we not accept the way things are when we are seen clearly in this way?